Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news as of about an hour ago. Your New York Jets are currently projected as the favorites to bid on the services of one quarterback, Brendan Shoresby. That's right. Check it out. I'm not lying. As you can see right here on Kalshi.com, not sponsored. Brendan Shoresby's next team, you can see New York J right here. Right here. 22% were listed as number one. Out of all the teams, then you got Arizona, Minnesota. Now Indianapolis has jumped up. This is real time. We have $92,000 worth of volume. People betting $92,000 on this. Cincinnati, New Orleans, Arizona. I would say Arizona's probably the one, but that's just me. Now, so that's what's going on. That's the news. Hey, the Jets, even the New York Post is reporting on this. The Jets are leading the way in terms of being the favorites to land a brand new quarterback. But should we go after it? Should we not? Well, let's talk about that after this. Did you know that you could purchase this? The Geno Files, written by Frankie from Flatbush. That's me. Scouting the NFL's Forgotten Quarterback, a Frankie from Flatbush investigative dossier. That might sound a little complicated for you, but it's really not. It's broken down in a very nice way. It also has all of my scouting notes and all of the data, tons of scouting, tons of everything. But the first 15 pages breaks it down very simply and very nicely. I fed all of my information into Notebook LM, and this is what it spat out. Something very nice to look at. And you could go to gumroad.com and pick that up. $2.99. Link in the description down below. Now, let's get back to Brendan Shoresby, another quarterback. What should we be thinking about him? Well, here's what I put out on X today. Right here, Brendan Shoresby is Timu Jackson Dart with clinically diagnosed gambling addiction and panic attack anxiety. Those are the facts. No thanks, I said. So basically, look, I don't think this is the right guy for us, personally. Now, I understand why we're tops in the betting market. Other people, the general perception is we have no quarterback, we have nothing, we're a bunch of bums, and we stink. I get it. But the fact of the matter is the Jets have a plan, and they're going to stick to it. You heard Frank Reich today going out of his way with praise for Geno Smith. And so I think they love Geno Smith, and they think he can have basically be the Seattle quarterback that we saw for 3 years over there, 3 years plus. And that's what the Geno Files goes through. It shows you that. Beyond the statistics, beyond the advanced analytics, you got to have the scout size, which I have. So there's that. And then beyond that, they really like Cade Klubnik. They traded up to get him. I think they were thrilled to have him. And so I think that's their first two options. And then, of course, next year with all the 3 picks and everything else. And I don't think they're going to deviate from the plan for this kid who really needed another year in school. That's the thing no one will tell you, except me perhaps. But he needed another year in school to develop. You don't develop in the NFL, really. And if you do, it takes a long time. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Geno Smith. It took all these people a long time, if you want to call it development, maturation, whatever you want to call it. It took them a long time, and so the Jets don't really have a long time. Really, I think that their options are 1, Geno for 1 or more years, depending how he does. 2, Klubnik, can he develop or be the guy maybe? And if the answer is no on those 2 things, then you just attack it next year in the first round. I don't think they're going to give up one of their picks next year. to get this kid who needed to be developed in college. Now he's not going to get the development time in college. That's where you develop mostly, is college. And then on top of that, he's got a gambling addiction and he's got a clinically diagnosed anxiety disorder, which includes panic attacks. Does that sound like a good thing for the Jets? A panic attack gambling addict? No. Now, maybe the kid can go somewhere and develop and eventually be good. I'm not saying he can't eventually be good, but I just don't see it as far as the Jets are concerned with their current plan, which other people don't see, of course. That's part of the reason I wrote the Geno files, so people could see what the heck the Jets are doing. But nevertheless, even if he's just a bridge to 27, like a lot of people are trying to sell you on, the Jet beat writers, that is, even if that is the case, and they look at Cade Klubnik as the long-term backup, and Geno's just here to get us to 27 and put out some decent production so everybody's not all upset, the wide receivers, Garrett and everybody, then, okay, if that's the way it goes, then we're all geared up for 2027. And there's going to be better options than Brendan Shoresby because he's, again, you just don't have a full evaluation. There's way too much risk from what he showed you in the previous year. And you wanted to see him take another step this year, and then you'd feel comfortable taking him wherever you'd feel comfortable based on his performance. But now you don't get that. So now you have all the risk. And by the way, the conglomerate, I forget what they're called, the commission, whatever they're called, they had a third-round grade on Sorsby if he came out this year. Despite what some idiots in the media are telling you, which they're getting from his agent, the real thing is the commission gave him a third-round grade. That's the people who tell all the prospects, here's where you're expected to go, so that they can make a decision, should I go back to school, etc. And they said third round, and that's why he went back to school, basically. And, with a little bit of, with the amount of scratch he could make at Texas Tech, they said, all right, well, I'm going to be a third rounder anyway. Let me go make $5-6+ million with Texas Tech. Okay. But now, and then improve my draft stock. But now he can't improve his draft stock. He's coming in now, and it's a total projection. There's just no real reason for the Jets to do this. And on top of all that, we don't have the bandwidth to develop him, even if a good amount of development could happen in the NFL. Maybe he could go to like the Rams or the Packers or someplace where they have enough offensive geniuses and they have enough winning under their belts where they don't have to worry about media scrutiny of every little thing they say and do. Everybody goes, McVay, he's good. LaFleur, he knows what he's doing. Same thing with Minnesota. Maybe that'd be a good place. O'Connell, he knows what's going on. We don't have to. But the Jets, that's not the case. We every little thing that Aaron Glenn does is under media scrutiny. Oh my God, he closed his eyes at the combine. Oh my God, he said the word superpower. Ha ha, LOL. Like, we don't have the same grace from the media or from the fan bases or anything else to really focus our attention on some long-range, long-term developmental prospect who might be good in 2029. Who the hell has time for that? We don't. Cade Klubnik is a completely different story. He's got 40 starts in college, at Clemson, and played in a lot of big-time games and all this, and he's projected to develop into a backup. And if anything more than that, it's a bonus. But I just don't see us wasting a pick on a guy like this when we really are hoping either Geno can have another renaissance, or Cade Klubnik surprises and is much better than we think. And then if those two things don't work, it's 2027, and it's the first round, and it's one of the big-time guys, whether that's Arch Manning or Lenoris Sellers or, whoever it may be. C.J. Carr, perhaps. Whoever, you never know with these college kids, and that's another thing also. But anyway, I personally just don't see it. Now, maybe Darren Muji will surprise me, but All he's done since he's gotten his staff together is smart thing after smart thing. Smart thing, smart. In the beginning it was a little rough, and the first draft after the first few rounds was a little rough. But everything after that has been extremely smart, from the contracts that he has gotten people to sign, whether it's free agents or retaining their own people like Joe Tippmann this week, the trades that he's made, the draft that he just had, okay, everything has been super smart. And this strikes me as not smart considering who we are. Now, Brendan Shoresby might turn out to be good someday, and perhaps if we're still struggling along without a quarterback, people will say, well, you should have just taken Sorsby. And you could say that, but I just don't think he has a chance to develop here. Just because somebody developed somewhere else doesn't mean that they would have developed the same way here, to the degree that development does happen in the NFL anyway. If you want to call it development, maturation, whatever, just because a guy was able to cool his heels in Arizona or Minnesota or Green Bay with no pressure whatsoever. I mean, if he goes to Green Bay, for example, or Los Angeles, the Rams, there's no pressure. And maybe that's the best place for him. If he comes here and Geno stumbles, a little bit, the media is going to be all over it. There's going to be tons of pressure. Is that what you want? A guy who's trying to develop and do something, and he's prone to anxiety and panic attacks and gambling addiction, and now he's going to have the world's biggest media market putting pressure on the team to start him. Hey, let's see what we got. This kid, put him in there, and then he's got the weight of the world on him. Is that really what you want for him? That doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll see, but I'd be surprised if we go out and get him. I just don't think we have it in us as a franchise. Like I said, Arizona, Minnesota, Green Bay, LA, somewhere. It doesn't work for me. Well, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And like I said, don't forget about click that link to get your copy of the Geno Files. Why not? See you later.